Imagine an addict, not to drugs or alcohol, but to something more subtle and socially acceptable, the feeling of a new love. They are masters of the prologue, relentless hunters of that heart-pounding moment when hands first touch, the thrill of the first text message, and the enchantment of dates where everything is painted with the brush of idealization. But then, one day, the inevitable happens. The honeymoon phase ends. Reality begins to surface, small flaws emerge, and everyday life, with its demands for true intimacy, begins. And at this precise moment, a primal instinct rises within them, to flee. They are not running because the other person isn't good enough. They are running because a silent addiction is driving their behavior. It's called new relationship energy, or NRE, addiction. This is not mere infidelity. It is a complex psychological mechanism, a flawed survival strategy programmed by childhood wounds aimed at satisfying an emotional thirst they themselves do not understand. Today, we will embark on a journey to decode the conflicted inner world of these love addicts, to see that behind that charming and free exterior lies a prison of loneliness and unending fear. In psychology, this phenomenon is often analyzed through the lens of attachment theory and emotional deficits from childhood. The root of the thirst, the cracks from childhood. This phenomenon is not simply a choice. It is the consequence of a past filled with incomplete attachments. According to attachment theory, experiences with primary caregivers in early childhood have imprinted a distorted map of love onto their subconscious. Anxious attachment. This is often the core cause. Imagine a child raised by a parent who is sometimes warm and loving, other times distant and cold. This inconsistency creates a pattern. Love is precarious, something to be fought for, and is never certain. As adults, they are unconsciously drawn to the drama, anxiety, and feeling of the chase in the early stages of romance. It recreates the familiar feeling from childhood, making them feel most alive. But once clarity and security appear, they feel bored and lose interest because it no longer triggers those intense emotions. Lack of self-worth validation. If their childhood lacked unconditional recognition, they carry a deep void within, an emptiness of self-worth. A new love, with its praise, attention, and feeling of being chosen, becomes an instant painkiller. It fills that void quickly. However, when the relationship moves into a stable phase, the initial admiration becomes assumed. At this point, the feeling of emptiness rushes back, and they immediately think, this person doesn't love me anymore. When the truth is, I no longer feel my value being validated by them. And so, the hunt for a new supply begins again. Avoidance of true intimacy. For some, the fear of being hurt or abandoned in true intimacy is terrifying. The honeymoon phase is safe because it stays on the surface of idealization and illusion. When the relationship demands transparency, vulnerability, and the acceptance of imperfections, their defense mechanisms instantly activate. They mistake true intimacy for a threat and choose to flee to preserve themselves. The mechanism of addiction, the chemical vortex in the brain. This behavior is not just psychological, it is firmly reinforced by the physiological mechanisms within their own brain. Dopamine addiction. The initial stage of love is a chemical storm. Every text, call, or compliment from the new person releases a flood of dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for excitement, craving, and reward. Coupled with norepinephrine, which makes the heart race, it creates a high akin to a form of addiction. Their brain records new person equals amazing feeling. And like any addict, they constantly seek to recreate that feeling. Fear of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. As the relationship progresses, the excitement of dopamine gives way to the calm of oxytocin, the hormone of bonding, trust, and safety. But for NRE addicts, this calm is interpreted by the brain as boring, emotionless, or the death of love. They are unfamiliar and unsatisfied with this serene form of love. They crave the dopamine rush more than the oxytocin warmth. The consequences: the toxic loop and perpetual loneliness. This syndrome creates a devastating cycle that harms both their partners and themselves. Toxic relationships and an inescapable loop. They constantly jump from one relationship to the next, always idealizing the new person and demonizing the old one when they reveal their true nature. They become professional hunters in the courting phase, but pitiful runners when building is required. Each ending further reinforces the belief that no one is right, while the truth is they don't give anyone a chance to be right. Emotional stuntedness. By constantly running away, they never learn the crucial skills of a mature relationship: conflict resolution, communicating needs, accepting differences, and building trust over time. They remain perpetually stuck in the emotions of a child, only wanting the sweet candy, dopamine, but unable to stomach the nutritious meals, oxytocin. Chronic emptiness. Deep down, they are lonely souls. Each time the drug wears off, the feeling of emptiness and worthlessness hits them more intensely. The more they run, the more lost they feel. They yearn for a love that can heal them, yet they destroy every opportunity to have it. Conclusion: the path to healing, from addiction to freedom. Breaking free from this vortex is a courageous journey of self-awareness. It is not about finding the right person, but about becoming a whole self. 1. Identify and heal your attachment style. The first step is to stop and acknowledge the wounds from the past. By understanding their insecure attachment model, they can begin to change the default scripts. 2. Build intrinsic value. Instead of seeking value from the gaze of others, they need to learn to validate themselves. Find fulfillment from career, hobbies, friendships, and personal growth. When you are full from within, you cease to be an addict searching for a fix. 3. Cherish the maturity of love. Learn to distinguish between the feeling of love and the action of loving. True love is not always an exhilarating feeling. It is the choice to stay, to care, and to build together even in the most peaceful phases. Give yourself and your partner a chance to move beyond the post-honeymoon stage, where deep, enduring, and genuine love truly begins to blossom. The greatest romance lies not in the exciting beginning, but in the journey of navigating all of life's ups and downs together. When you stop chasing the lightning bolts of dopamine, you gain the eyes to see the beauty of the oxytocin dawn. A gentle, warm light that can warm your heart for a lifetime.